Oh boy, here we go. This is some beautiful clover. Oh, this is beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, it didn't mow the cleanest because it was already starting to lodge down a little bit. But man, talk about some nice feed. Oh, there's leaf. Oh man, and there's some grasses in there. Oh boy, yeah. So we're trying to bale this up. That's the smoke from Canada, but it is getting kind of muggy and tough. But I've only got a little bit left. I'm running a very large soft core because it is a little bit tough. So I run a 30-inch soft core to help the bale breathe, and they do flatten a little overnight, but that hay is I am so excited for this winter, and really excited because by the time we get done with first crop, with what we got left over from last year plus first crop, we already got a majority of feed made for this winter, and that's rather important. And so I'm excited. I'm having yeah. Well, there we go. That field's done. Ended up at 91 bales. 91 bales for the year, off of that field. And so that is awesome. That is really awesome. Number 4x6, averaging 15 to 1,700 pounds a bale. And then we got 94 bales off of this field. That's the alfalfa that just will not die. It had frost one spring, flooded with ice, it froze, so it had winter kill and came back. I've sprayed it several times and it's came back. It just will not die. But yeah, that is awesome. So we got 248 bales for the year. We still got an 8-acre alfalfa, and we have a 40 right here off the end of the bean field is a 40-acre of horse hay, and that pasture is doing pretty good for these guys. We'll talk more about that in a different video, but that pasture is doing all right. So yeah, there we go. Well, we ended up with a really good harvest. We ended up at like 314 bales. 20 of them we give to a landowner because we share crop with her. So we got to get these bales home, and one of the neighbors is like, hey, I got a trailer you should rent. And so it's a hay boss. He says I can get 8 bales on here, 4x6. They're heavy. He says I can get 8 bales on here, and then it's 30 seconds to dump it. And this field, there was 46 bales. So if we're 3 miles from the farm, if I use my hay rack, then I would be 20 miles an hour, each way with my hay rack, plus the unload time. And so I think this will be 900 times faster. I think it will, instead of running the tractor up and down the road, or putting the wagon, or putting a tractor at each end and running the wagon between them. I'm excited. I'm excited to try this out. I think this will be the fastest hay I've ever moved. And yeah, so let's get going. The first bale on, I almost forgot there's brakes here. So yeah, that sets the brakes. So, and I don't know what, oh, that also unlocks your pin. So the only way you can dump is you have to set the brake to dump it because of that pin. Well, let's put these bales on and see what this is like. Well, there's the first 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So far it's pretty slick. You just keep shoving forward. Anybody got any ideas on gophers? The landowner there, he's been poisoning them. I was thinking to fix the field, to put some skids on the back blade and run around some of these areas, but I don't know how to stop gophers from coming into this field. He really doesn't want us to use chemicals on the field. It always has to stay in grass. There's a lot of rules on this field, and so I don't know what to do. Obviously, if we did corn on it, you wouldn't care, because who cares about gopher mounds on a cornfield? Problem is, this field, this is a dry field. And I just push up, and I'm looking out the side at my front bumper of the tractor to the back of the hay rack. I don't need to get right up to every last, 1/16 of an inch. Jeez. 2 great songs in a row. Yeah. Who gives a crap about copyright strikes anymore? I love good music. That cymbal hanging down there kind of helps as you're driving up. That's the first thing to come into your vision when you're still a ways away, and it sure helps guide the bale, get you squared up. Did we reach the front already? I seen the whole trailer try to move. Sure we did, because that's 7 bales. I just need 1 more for number 8, and then we'll check in with the landowner and see what he has to say. Yeah, that's really slick. That is really slick. First impression of hauling down the road with this Hay Boss brand. I don't know if all brands ride like this, but I've pulled a fair share of gooseneck over the year, and by far this trailer rides as nice or nicer than pretty much any gooseneck I have ever hauled on the road. That is insane. I mean, it just rolled down the road. So we come in here, we hit this, our brake comes on, then you flip this valve, and then the trailer tips over. That is a slick. And they didn't go very far. So everything's down. Yep, brake and cylinder retract, and then you put that back. Yep, you have to do it, I suppose, because of that lock. And so, that's slick. That is slick. Let's do it again. So I think I'll follow my path from last time then, obviously. Get next to these and then just kind of guesstimate where the trailer's going to be on that first bale. And I guess if I'm a few feet back, who really cares, right? Yeah, that's pretty okay. We can live with a little gap there. That's all right. We'll do this one more time. Up, tube, latch. Kaboom. We got some that roll back because of the ground. Some that, but that's all right. We don't worry about that. Then we get back in the truck. Ho ho ho. It's not dry here at all. So that took, so far I'm only 8.5 minutes in from leaving the field to getting here to dump, to starting to turn around. And if I was using my big hay rack, I would still be on the way here. I would, that's almost, that's about a 12 to 15 minute drive one way. And then, what do you got, 15 minutes? So I'm easily doing 3 to 4 times as many bales per hour. And so, yeah, that is slick. That is really, really slick. 8 bales, EIGH, 8 bales. Well, in just a couple hours, we managed to get that field done, and now I'm idling down the road, and look at that, my wheel doesn't even turn on the tractor. It's like one of them stupid TikTok videos where they just jump around with no legs in the air. And, yeah, so I got that field done in a couple hours. We'll run down here for a couple miles. We got another field, and we'll see if we can't get that one done today. Hoo-ah! Got a hay trailer that gets me a lot of stuff done. Hoo-ah! I'm terribly sorry for that. Oh yeah, Jim, he's got a lot of hay to get going yet. A lot of good looking hay there. Here we are. We're at the next field. Hoo-ah! Gosh, that almost sounded like a horrible impersonation of Little Nicky. You don't know my dad. He's gonna come and get you. And I'll quit now. This is not going very good at all. But yeah, we'll get this field worked on, and I'd like to improve this hay field, because our farm is right there, so it butts onto the south side of our property. We just got to go around the neighborhood to get home. Maybe someday I make a road through the fields when we know what's happening more long term. But until then, I would really like to see if I can fertilize this field and spread seed in it, but at the same time it'd be fun to plow it up and put it back to grasses, because it is a little on the rough side. I just don't know. There's 10 acres in the back that she's going to let us plow up and do that. We're going to plow it up, smooth it up, fix it up, and then seed it down as soon as we get some moisture. But yeah. Meanwhile, back at the other field, our heroine. So I broke my ankle years ago, back in 2010. Funny story I can share later if anybody wants to hear it. And the other day I stepped out of the Massey and into a clump of weeds or grass there, and didn't realize it and rolled that ankle, and it went click pop, and it hurt a little of a lot, and I might have said some words out loud and got Karen's attention. So now when I walk, it's been stiff, so now when I walk across this grass, I'm trying to concentrate on landing on my heel and pushing off with my toe to engage the muscles to stabilize the ankle. Otherwise, what happens, it gets a little tired throughout the day, and then you just kind of flat-foot it, you know, you just kind of thump, and so I need to concentrate on fixing that up. So, yeah. Oh boy, here, let me zoom in. Look at them beans. I don't understand it, but they're getting more green by the day. They just keep getting more gooder. Yeah, it's goofy. Maybe they'll start turning backwards, but next week we'll start digging in the ground. We got a lot of soil talk starting next week. Once we get our real work done, then we can talk fantasy. But yeah, well, I'll try this with one hand. Last 4 bales, and I will tell you what, if I was doing this by myself, run around and pick bales kind of deal, and then start loading trailer, I don't know if I would have had them first 40 bales home today. I'd probably just be finishing up that other field, and let alone finishing up the second field. So I got just over 100 bales home today, and this Hay Boss trailer, I don't know if all brands are like that, but that thing pulls like a dream, works like a dream, does everything it's supposed to very well. That is an amazing trailer, and at the cost of your time nowadays, think about it, if I got twice as many bales moved in a day, that means I'll be back to the shop several days sooner than if I was just hauling with the tractor and wagon, and that's money. That's back to work, you know. There's no money in farming, but so the sooner we can get back to our jobs, the more money we make. And the tire savings, you know, we used to use these tractors kind of like Europeans, where the tractor does all your road running, and that worked fine when I was a smaller farmer. But now when the cost of a tire, you know, when you're talking $2,000 or $2,500 for the cost of a tire, it's just like, well, holy crap, a trailer will pay for itself in 0 time, because just in tire savings. I mean, it's unreal nowadays how that all adds up. And we were looking at it, and he bought that brand new a couple years ago for $6,000, and you're looking at it and you're like, you know, I could go up to the sawmill and buy some rough cut lumber, and I could spend an easy $2,000 and a couple days worth of work to build a hay rack to go, you know, out of an existing running gear to be going 20 miles an hour down the road. And I guess that was my plan, was we had some running gears around here, and so the plan was, let's build some hay racks. But holy Hannah, now you're thinking like, wait a minute there, Jethro, you're gonna have over half the cost of this trailer tied up into hay racks. We need to reevaluate our life's decisions here, and and see, could we buy the steel to make one of these trailers? I don't know. That's something we're gonna have to look at. But yeah, on that note, I will well, I see smoke raising from the neighbor's woods. We're in a severe drought and probably a really severe burning ban, and so it won't be long, within the next 15 or 20 minutes, a DNR airplane is going to be flying overhead. They watch that really close. So yeah, I'm going to run these home and then run me home and throw a couple burgers on the grill Or as my friends down Steven Start would probably not say, a couple of shrimp on the Barbie. But yeah, let's get these kind of centered up here a little bit. There we go, guys. Well, thank you for joining me today, and tomorrow we start wrapping.